Good morning, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. Today is Friday, the 30th of May, and the moon is in Cancer. Cancer, yes. Feeling sensitive, anyone? Me, always. Always. All right, so we had an early morning conjunction here on the East Coast of Mercury and the Sun. I spoke of that yesterday. Mercury is very highlighted at this time, which would be normal anyway because the Sun is in Gemini and disposited by whatever sign Mercury might be in. And of course, Mercury is in Gemini, so there's a lot of Gemini going round, and don't we know it? So let's talk a little bit about Gemini, and then I want to talk about an aspect that is been in process since 2020. So today. So Gemini is a mutable air sign. Mutability is about changeability. Air is about the mind. And so, I don't know, there might be some Geminis out there who have been told that they're fickle or that they keep changing their minds on subjects. Gemini isn't really about making a firm decision on a piece of information, but it's more about gathering the necessary information. It's more about exposing yourself to different ideas. You don't have to agree with them, but it's helpful to be exposed to them because it gives you a perspective, if you have a sense of curiosity, to learn something new, to expand what you know, to maybe with some of the information coming out to prove something that you thought, right? Down the road, because that's not Gemini's job. Gemini's job is to expose you to information so that later down the line of the zodiac, that you can take that information, you can create with it, you can discern, separate the wheat from the chaff, right? And then come up with ideals and ideas and philosophies of life and ways of being. So it's very helpful. Now, you might say, well, the certain Geminis have brought in a lot of chaos. Well, while the Taco King is a Gemini, his prime energy is that of Uranus, and Uranus is the awakener. And what I think he's helped us to do, and many of us may not see it as help, but it is helpful, is he has blown our, what's the word I want to say? Blown our what we considered to be, normal, or what we considered to be, or assumed was given. I guess that's what I want to say. Assumed was given. That perhaps was just an agreement we all made, and that's why we have it, right? Ooh, sorry, I got it. This just surprised me. We have our first white peony opening here. Woo! Okay, that was exciting. That one surprised me, even though I saw it was starting to open yesterday. That's what I love about the garden. You walk around the corner, it's like, ooh! And that's a very Gemini thing to do. In fact, I often see Gemini as the butterfly that goes from flower to flower, to just take up the essence of that flower, to smell that flower, to taste the sweetness of life. It's really hard to remember to taste the sweetness of life at a time of such utter despicable inhumanity to each other, especially to women and children and those who need our help. And we're not those people who are doing that. We are good people. Most people are good people. It's the leaders, right? It's the leaders with their egos and the like that create the situations where we're fighting each other for scraps. This is America. We don't have to do that, guys. It's going to be a difficult summer. June is coming up fast and furious. And I did put a Kabbalah, numerology and Kabbalah video out. It was actually something I had sent my members a couple of weeks prior, so they had the skinny on June, and now you all have the skinny on June from the perspective of astrology, not astrology, Kabbalah and numerology. I will get the astrology out probably tomorrow, because I was sick for a couple of days. It sort of put my schedule back, but I will get it out to you guys. The other thing I want to talk about before I run out of juice, that's what happens. I run out of space on my phone. So if I ever do this and I like fall away, I'm like, what happened to her? It's my phone. It's not, I'm fine. These are all blackberry flowers. We're going to have quite a few blackberries. The deer are going to be very excited. The raccoons and us, we get a whole bunch too. There's plenty in this yard, really. The irises are starting to pop up some flowers, so we should have some. Oh, here we have a little yellow. These are yellow flags. This was the first plant my husband gave me, as a gift. He brought me some of these, and we put them in the garden that I had, where I lived at the time on the Cape. So the other aspect I want to talk about is, you haven't heard this, I don't think, from me before, is biquintile. So, when you see quintiles, biquintiles, triquintiles are always utilizing our talents to our benefit. And today we have Jupiter make a biquintile to Pluto. And I don't talk about biquintiles often, but because we're dealing with Pluto and Jupiter, which is about a 13-year cycle, synodic cycle between, it takes Jupiter conjoining Pluto, and then about 13 years later it does it again. The last time that these two planets came together was 2020. Well, their synodic cycle began in 2020, when we had 3 exact conjunctions through that period. And in that period, every time a conjunction would happen, we would have a spike in COVID deaths. Now you might say, oh no, COVID deaths. It's not really about, well, at that time it was, because Pluto is the archetype of death, but also rebirth. So it's not just about dying, because it doesn't work that way. Something dies, something is reborn. And that's true of the United States. We are in the process of a death and rebirth cycle. We had our Pluto return. We had Chiron return. We're having Uranus return in a couple of years. So we're ready. We are primed. The pump is primed for rebirth. But of course, there are many things that are going to happen between now and then. But it is a process. So there are parts of us that are sort of dissolving, and there are parts that from that dissolution are rising up. And the spirit of America is not dead. And no matter what these mamalukes in charge want you to think. Despair is not an option, as Bernie says. So I want to read to you this aspect with a Jupiter biquintile Pluto. It says deep interest in a deep interest in and skilled strategy for achieving your goals. You feel more in control of your creative powers and more aware of our deep ambitions. And so sit with that. Biquintiles are almost magical. Sit with your deepest desires. What do you want your country to look like? What do you want your world to look like? What do you want your life to look like? Start there, right? Because the country is made up of millions of people who have lives where all their power lies in the choices they make in their lives. So no matter what choices are being made in the Supreme Court or what choices are being made in the Congress or the Senate, the choices that you make in your life are as important or maybe more important. Because if you are in alignment with yourself and your goals and your wisdom and your abilities, together we are unstoppable. Remember, Pluto is in Aquarius. All right, guys. That's it. Woo! That was good. I enjoyed that. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. And I'm going to go have some breakfast. My stomach is starting to growl. Have yourself a wonderful day. Mystic Sisters on Saturday. Tomorrow night on Ona's channel, Ona's Tarot. Join us if you like. We do record it. So if you can't be with us live, you can certainly listen to us and see what's being said. But I am certain there's going to be a lot of interesting stuff coming down the pike. All right. Yes, and what else? For those of you, many of you may know this, I do have a membership on YouTube now. There are 2 levels, Starlets and Star Seekers. The Star Seekers will get more like technical astrology stuff. Pretty much everybody gets everything now. But as the channel grows in that way, as the membership grows, I'll be able to offer more to everybody. So I appreciate your support as always. And even if you just come in the mornings to share my garden with me, that helps as well too. I really do appreciate you. Oh, let's take a look at this peony. This is the one that started opening yesterday. And that's a lovely one. Lovely. That's, what is that? Spiderwort back there. We have some irises, Siberian irises, and that pea plant. And roses. Yeah, it's going to be a good rose summer. And if you need a little inspiration, go to nature. And if there isn't a whole lot of nature by you, I hope you enjoy this. I love you guys. Take care, everyone. Namaste.